Dying is one of the most horrible things in Minecraft. If you're playing hardcore, dying is even worse. It means basically losing all the progress in your world forever. But fear no more, because today I'll be showing you some of the most common causes of death in Minecraft and how to defeat them once and for all so that you never die again in your world. So let's start with a big one, and that's mobs. Minecraft has a lot of mobs, and not all of them are friendly per se. Some mobs deal damage by striking you, either with their bare hands or with some sort of weapon, and other mobs do most of their work on you from range. Getting swarmed by a horde of mobs can be pretty common, and it's easy to die, especially when you don't have that much gear on you. But I got just the solution for you, and that is the shield. Look, maybe you already own a shield in your world, but I can probably guarantee that you are not aware of a shield's true power. A shield is so cheap to craft, only 6 planks and an iron ingot, and it can block almost every single ranged attack in the game, whether that be arrows from a skeleton or even fireballs from a blaze. So with the shield, you can completely defeat most of the ranged mobs. Let's take skeletons as an example. Just hold your shield up to block their initial arrow, and once the arrow hits, the skeleton, of course, needs some time to reload before firing the next one. In that moment, when it's reloading, that's your chance to hit it. Then when it's about to fire the next arrow, you put your shield up once again. So you just block, then attack, block, then attack until the skeleton is dead. This works even if you're facing multiple skellies. Just make sure to use your shield and only hit when they're reloading, and you'll take little to no damage. But that's not all. Shields can also completely negate all the damage from a creeper's explosion, even on a hard difficulty. I mean, it does 24.5 hearts of damage, and you can just block all of it with this little wooden shield. Another great trick if you're dealing with certain melee mobs, like piglin brutes and vindicators, these guys have axes, so you can't use shields on them. They actually disable your shield. So here you can try using boats. Place a boat down right before they run up to you. They're gonna sit down, and at that point they are basically harmless as long as you don't get too close. You can also use lava buckets. This way you not only slow the mobs down, you also heavily damage them at the same time, and it's pretty easy to get a horde of melee mobs together in lava to kill them all at once. But of course, the best way to deal with most melee mobs, just get them from range if you can. This way they'll never even get a chance to hit you. But what about Vexes? Another annoying mob that has ended many hardcore worlds. Vexes are small, can fly, and hit very hard, which makes them difficult to engage even with a shield or bow. So how exactly do you defeat these little guys? Well, there are a few ways. One is Thorns 3 armor. Vexes are hard to hit by themselves, so if you can get them to take damage every time they hit you, killing them is going to be a lot easier. Again, you can also use boats here. If you're being swarmed, placing a few boats down can actually trap the Vexes, but you will need to have these ready to go once they're summoned. So the best thing to do is kill the evoker as quickly as possible, and then just run and block using your shield. Eventually the Vexes without the evoker will all die on their own, and you'll be fine. Now here's a tip: if you're ever in a sticky situation where you're surrounded by mobs, a great way to escape is to use ender pearls. You can get these from killing the enderman mob, and it pretty much allows you to just teleport away to wherever you threw the pearl, allowing you some time to get your bearings and heal. These are also great for escaping strong mobs like the Warden, because the Warden is a very scary guy. He disables your shield, he does a ton of damage. Don't engage him, you can just use pearls and teleport away to safety. Just be a bit careful when using ender pearls, since they do damage you, and throwing them carelessly, especially in the nether, can just end up making things worse. Now let's take a look at another major cause of death in Minecraft, and that is falling. Look, we've all been there before. Maybe you're just messing around and you slip up, maybe a mob hit you off a cliff. Either way, fall damage is one of the deadliest things in all of Minecraft. Now, I could just be boring and say, hey, just be careful, man, don't walk near ledges, but that really isn't that helpful. So I got 2 tips for you. One is to get some armor with the Feather Falling 4 enchantment on your boots, and the Protection 4 enchantment on every piece of armor you have. If you're curious about how to enchant your armor, the best way is to trade these enchantments with the Librarian villager, so you get the enchantment in this enchanted book form. Then you head on over to an anvil, and you can just combine your armor with the enchanted book to enchant it that way. Now, the reason I recommend the Feather Falling 4 and Protection 4 enchantments specifically is that these actually reduce the amount of fall damage that you take when you have it on. If you're curious, with absolutely no armor, your player can survive about a 23 to 24 block fall maybe, but with Protection 4 armor and with Feather Falling 4 on your boots, you can now survive a 103 block fall without dying at all, nearly 5 times the distance, which makes dying from falling insanely hard, even if you're clumsy. But hey, that's just one option. Another option to stop fall damage is to carry a water bucket. This requires a bit more skill, but basically, if you ever fall, placing the water bucket down right below you before you hit the ground actually gets rid of all your fall damage. Again, this requires really good timing and it is quite risky, but this is another great way to prevent yourself from dying from fall damage, and it does feel crazy cool as well when you manage to pull it off. In the Nether, you can't use water buckets since you can't actually place water down here, so I'd recommend using a cobweb or powdered snow bucket instead. Those also stop your fall damage as well when you place them down. But if we're being honest here, fall damage is absolutely trivial compared to this next threat. Picture this: you just found some diamonds in a cave. You excitedly run towards them and start mining them when suddenly... Yeah, creepers are one of the deadliest threats in Minecraft. Firstly, because they explode, and secondly, it's very easy for one to sneak up on you. They don't make any sort of sound other than right when they're about to blow up. So first, let's talk about facing creepers in combat. This is something a lot of beginners struggle with especially. You don't need to charge into a creeper and start whacking it as fast as you can. You are going to die every time if you do that. The way you beat a creeper in combat, if it's melee, is you strike it, you move back so it doesn't get a chance to charge up, and then strike it again, rinse and repeat until the creeper dies. If you don't want to do that, and if the environment allows for it, you can also just let a bow and arrow do the dirty work for you and not have to get close to the creeper at all. Another way to beat a creeper is to let it explode but evade the explosion somehow. This could be blocking it with a shield or placing a physical block between you and the creeper before it explodes, or it could also be just moving back a tiny bit as it's exploding. You'll take little to no damage in all these cases, but keep in mind you are letting the creeper explode, so there will be a mark of the explosion after. Now, the one most people struggle with, especially on hardcore, is preventing a creeper from sneaking up on you. I hate to say it, but this one is pure caution and awareness. Always be watching your back and your surroundings, especially at night or if you're exploring a cave. Don't explore ravines at all, to be honest, because it's way too easy for a creeper to just fall on you from above. Caves with high roofs in general are creeper havens, but if a creeper does get the jump on you, it's not the end of the world. Remember, from the time a creeper starts charging up to when it explodes, you have about 1.5 seconds to react. That should be enough time to whip around and put your shield up to block the explosion. You can also practice this on a super flat world or something. Just spawn a bunch of creepers, turn your back to do something unrelated, and practice reacting to the creeper as fast as you can. This will help you improve your reaction speed for hardcore. But unfortunately, this next threat cannot be defeated with a shield. Lava is another major killer for many Minecraft survival and hardcore worlds. This is especially a problem in the Nether, where lava is basically everywhere and it flows twice as fast and further than in the overworld. So first, let's discuss how to avoid dying from falling in lava pools or lava lakes. Obviously, there is a bit of caution involved here. Don't run around aimlessly in the Nether. Don't dig straight down in the overworld. But accidents do happen sometimes, so one of the best things to do, especially in the Nether, is to just carry around fire resistance potions. See, a great thing about lava is that it never kills instantly. Even if you have 0 gear, it still takes a few seconds, so if you ever fall in, you definitely have some time to whip out a fire resistance potion and drink it to prevent further damage from burning. Just try keeping a few of these things on hand when you're in the Nether. You never know when it could save your life. But let's say you don't have fire resistance, there are still 2 things you can do. One is to pillar up out of the lava by going near the floor and then building up out of it. You will need some decent gear for this, because building out does take a bit of extra time. If you're near the shore, you can also just straight up swim out the lava. That does work too, but the main problem with these two methods is that if you're out of the lava, you still burn for 15 whole seconds after that. This extra burning contributes to many deaths as well, so in the overworld, you of course want to get a water bucket as soon as you're out of that lava. That just instantly extinguishes you. In the nether, the best thing to do is to place a block above your head and spam the jump button as fast as you can. This way you'll get hungry, and when your character eats, you heal your health quicker. Rinse and repeat this until the burning stops. You can also just carry splash potions of healing 2 around in the nether to instantly heal yourself. But don't get it twisted, lava isn't the only dangerous liquid in Minecraft. Water can also be a cold-blooded killer as well. Drowning in water has claimed the lives of many Minecraft players. It happens. Sometimes you just forget about your bubbles or get stuck in an underwater cave, but thankfully preventing drowning deaths is much easier. Now, if you're exploring an ocean in Minecraft, just carry around doors with you. Placing a door down on the floor makes an air pocket, which allows you to breathe in that spot right there, but that's only on Java Edition. On Bedrock Edition, you can still use magma blocks though. This achieves pretty much the same effect, just make sure to sneak on the magma blocks so you don't take damage from burning either. Another great trick to create an air pocket is actually with a bucket. Yes, if you cuddle up to a wall and spam a water bucket super quickly, this actually regenerates your air bubbles as well. You do have to click super fast, but this does prevent drowning. Case in point, if you have one of these items, you will never die from drowning in Minecraft. I can pretty much guarantee that. So throughout this video, we've been looking at a lot of different environmental threats like water, lava, creepers, but what about deaths caused by yourself? One example of this is elytra deaths. Elytra is a pair of wings that allows you to fly around your world, and you can use firework rockets to propel yourself in the air. There are many ways to die from this: running into a wall, not landing properly, forgetting to equip your elytra before jumping off a ledge. Yeah, that one is really painful. Thankfully, these deaths are all super easily preventable as well. First, let's talk about landing with the elytra. Many players land wrong in a way that kills them from fall damage. When you land with the elytra, think about it like landing an airplane. You wouldn't nosedive straight into the ground, the plane is gonna blow up. If you can, you want to make your landing as soft of an angle as possible, if that makes sense. You want your descent to be super slow, you gradually reach the ground, and you land softly. Again, just like landing a plane. That's one way to do it. Another way is right when you need to land, just do a few quick 360-degree turns in the air. No matter how fast you were going, this always slows you down completely and allows you to land much safer. Now, let's talk about some other deaths with the elytra. Running into a wall or block, this one's simple. You don't want to use your elytra in tight spots, especially with fireworks. If you're flying in a forest or something, just make sure to fly well above it and you'll be alright. Also, if there's some terrain loading while you're flying, just slow down for a second, because it's super easy to propel yourself with the firework and get jump scared by some random tree or wall in your way. When we talk about your elytra breaking in midair, make sure your elytra is enchanted with unbreaking and mending so it doesn't lose durability as fast, and always check the durability before you take off. And guys, please also do not die by forgetting to put on your elytra. Look, before you jump off any ledge, just check your inventory to make sure you have it on, and then you can go. Dying like this is really painful. If you guys did enjoy this video, then please consider dropping a like and a sub, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.